Eagles and Cardinals meeting for the 18th time in the school's histories. Louisville leads the series 10-7. Exactly a year ago tonight, it was a Friday at Alumni. Louisville went down 20-0 at the hands of Boston College and Thomas Castellanos. Cardinals scored 21 unanswered to win in a thriller. One of 5 games under Bill O'Brien where BC has blown a double-digit lead. 3 such losses have come on the road. As Bill O'Brien struggles away from Alumni Stadium are well documented. That career record at 23-21 as time as a college football head coach split between here and Penn State back in 2012 to 2013. O'Brien's road record at Boston College, 1-7. Winless since the opener against Florida State back in September of 24.
And you mentioned that one win over a 2-win Florida State team. At the time looked like a massive win to launch Boston College into relevancy. That did not develop the way you had hoped. Florida State only won 1 FBS game that year, and BC is yet to be the quality team on the road. It would be a big step up here to knock off one of the top 20 in the land.
Eagles and Cardinals meeting for the 3rd consecutive season. First time here at L&N Stadium since 2023. That was a 56-28 Cardinal victory. Out come the teams. Louisville ready to kick it right to left to Boston College. Nick Keller, the redshirt junior from Hebron, Kentucky, will boot it away to TJ Green and Alex Broom. A now full lower bowl here at L&N Stadium, ready to watch a Cardinal team hungry for an ACC title game berth. Can BC shock the world? Keller into his trot. He puts toe to leather and the game is afoot. Football flies green and lands in the end zone for a touchback. Eagles will come out to their own 25. First down and 10. Primetime football on WZBC Sports between Boston College and number 19 Louisville. Redshirt senior quarterback Grayson James, native of Duncanville, Texas, guy that's waited his turn and is now making his 2nd consecutive start after beginning the season behind Dylan Lonergan. Last week went 16 of 28, 204 yards, a couple of touchdowns, sacked 7 times. That's the most that this BC offensive line has allowed, through a 39-yard touchdown to Reed Harris as well. Breaks the opening huddle in the shotgun, 2 receivers left, 3 to his right and a trips. Empty set to begin the game. Takes the snap. James under immediate pressure. Rips out of it. Flush to his right. Trying to get something. Taken down to the line of scrimmage. James was pressured immediately off the edge by JoJo Evans. But it's Rene Conga, the defensive tackle, that brings him down for no gain.
You talk about the offensive line. Eric Stardy, the starting left guard, former All-Michigan selection, out tonight. Eagles, a new-look offensive line, haven't had any consistency. We'll see how they communicate up front here.
Of note, Turbo Richard labeled a game-time decision at running back for Boston College. Not starting the game, but he is in the lineup. 2nd and 10, McDonald gets the handoff up the middle, and he is stonewalled. D'Angelo Hutchinson leads the charge for Louisville. Middle linebacker Caleb Perry finishes the job and plants McDonald to the line. 2 plays, 0 yards for Boston College. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and long from the 24.
So a lack of communication up there. None of the interior linemen picks up the Tennessee transfer. Shot an open gap. BC 3rd and long.
BC looking to take advantage of its opening drive. James in the gun, McDonald at his hip. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Takes the snap. James has times, flushes left, looks downfield and completes. Left hash. He's got Jeremiah Franklin. First down at the 42. James rolling to his opposite side, dished a beauty to Franklin, and it's a first down gain of 17 for the Eagles. Right back to the line, up tempo as they were much of last week. 1st and 10 at the 41. James takes a shotgun snap, looks left, instead tucks up the middle. He slides down shy of the 50, tried to deke the slide as he kept running, but it'll be marked down, looks like at the 49-yard line near the 50. Be a gain of 5 or so that brings up 2nd and medium for James, just shy of midfield.
Yeah, it looked like Kenny Pickett played for the bowl game a couple years ago. He went to slide. That wasn't intended to pull it up, but a crashing Louisville defender didn't give him room to finish it, so decided to abort the slide, just couldn't get the referee to let him keep running.
Gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 from the BC 46. Eagles on their opening drive, 13:09 left, 1st quarter. James in the gun, 3 receivers right. Takes the snap, flags fly, and this will be a pre-snap penalty on Boston College. Here's Riley Johnson. It's a first penalty of the game coming against the right guard, Logan Taylor. Had a couple of false starts last week for a BC offensive line that allowed more sacks than it has all year, as James was taken down 7 times.
Yeah, Logan Taylor's got to step it up. He's kind of your heart of that offensive line at this point. Former 2-time All-ACC honorable mention down at Virginia.
Transferred from Virginia 2 years ago. He's in left guard again, for 2nd and 10 from the 41. James completes right side. Bond, numbers 50. He is taken down at midfield. There's the first reception of the game for the redshirt senior out of Chicago. Took the screen and got to work up the right numbers. It's a solid gain of 3 up to the 49, or 8 rather, up to the 49. That brings up 3rd and 2.
Good read by Bond there. Sees the defender with the outside leverage. Cuts it back inside his block, finds a way to fight near the sticks. 3rd and manageable to the 3rd and medium.
ACC leading 51st reception of the season for the native of Chicago. Bond out to the far side, 2 other receivers joining him that way. 3rd and 2 for James in the gun at the 49. Direct snap, he'll run it up the middle. First down to right hash, and he won't get much more than that after taking it into midfield. Taken down a couple of paces ahead of the 50-yard line. BC moves the chains and takes it into Louisville territory for the first time all night.
When you know you're going to have trouble blocking, a lot of draws, a lot of screens. That's what's worked in the last 2 plays for BC. A cute draw there. Brings those pass rushers upfield past the quarterback. Now they're going to be a little more hesitant and can take a little pressure off your offensive lineman blocking one-on-one.
Success has come with up-tempo for BC, but the scoring drives have averaged 14.3 plays over the last 2 games. 1st and 10 at the Louisville 47. Flag from the near side judge and another pre-snap penalty, Boston College. It's Kevin Klein tagged with the 2nd false start of the drive for the Eagles and moves them back into their own territory at the 48. It'll be 1st and 15. Already 2 penalties for Bill O'Brien's offense at 11:25 remaining in the opening quarter. BC trying to milk that clock on the opening drive, but does have to take an early lead if it wants any hope of beating a potent Louisville offense. James in the shotgun, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Pugh alone on that side. McDonald gets the handoff up the middle, stays on his feet right hash, and crosses the 50-yard line before he's taken down to the 45 into Louisville territory on the 2nd carry of the game for Jordan McDonald. It's a modest gain that brings the ball to the 44 of the Cardinals on a gain of 6. Gets some of that yardage back. It'll be 2nd down and 9 from the Louisville 44. JoJo Evans, the free safety, the one with the tackle on McDonald. Eagles break the huddle. James in the gun. McDonald still in the game. Caleb Janczynski, the tight end, left slot. Far side, Reed Harris. Near side, Dawson Pugh. Takes the snap. James looks right, has time. Now tucks and runs, flushing out left. He crosses the line of scrimmage. Left numbers of the 40 and stretches across for a 1st down just shy of the 35-yard line before he scampers out of bounds.
James took the blame for the 7 sacks against the Eagles last week. Said he had to get rid of it faster, make a decision faster. That's what he did. That clock goes off on your head. Have to find a way to take off or make the quick throw. Does just that for the 1st down.
Eagles back to the line. 1st and 10 from the Louisville 47. 10:02 to play opening quarter. James takes the snap, quick throw out right, complete. Kalen Janczynski on the flat, and he musters a couple of yards past the 35 before D'Angelo Hutchinson levels him to the ground. Janczynski, a true freshman from Needham, Massachusetts, 3-star out of St. Sebastian's, named to the midseason all-freshman team by The Athletic. He's got 2 touchdown catches in the last 3 games. While Grayson James developing an early connection with him last week, a 9-yard touchdown to the true freshman. He's back out on the field, squatting next to the right tackle, Kevin Klein. 2nd and 7 from the Louisville 34. James takes a pistol snap, handoff up the middle. McDonald has a hole on the right hash, and he is taken down just shy of the 30, rather right at the 30-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd down and a couple as McDonald, the junior out of Atlanta, has been the bell cow early. That's carry number 4, 9:09 to go on what's been now a long BC opening drive.
Big block there by Franklin coming across the line of scrimmage, pins his defender outside the play, opens up that hole for the back to hit, and now Eagles on the march.
3rd and 3. Eagles have converted each of their prior 3rd downs on this drive. This from the Louisville 30. James in the pistol, takes the snap, handoff, McDonald right up the gut. 1st down as he falls ahead of the 25 to the 24. He needed 3, he got 6. And McDonald keeps the drive moving. 8:36 in the opening quarter. Eagles are on the outskirts of the red zone on their opening series.
More importantly, they've eaten up almost half the first quarter already. The best way to quiet an explosive offense, keep them off the field. Eagles need to find a way to convert for points, though.
James and company averaged 32 attempts last year in 2024 when he was the starting quarterback for the final 5 games of the year. Already at 6 rushes, 8-11 in this first quarter. James in the gun, 1st and 10 from the Louisville 24. Drops the snap, gets it out to the middle. Trzynski can't track the ball. Incomplete as it drops in the end zone. James with a blunder on the snap, then picked it up. Busted coverage from Louisville up the left seam. Left Kalen Trzynski open, and James overshot him.
Yeah, poor snap there. A little bit more on target. James handles it cleanly, probably has a touchdown. Trzynski up that seam, relatively uncovered. Also had Harris on that side, one-on-one. A battle he wins more often than not.
Redshirt freshman center Michael Krauts only making his 4th career start. 2nd and 10, ball on the Louisville 24. Empty set for James, 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Bond and Harris on the near side. James changing the play, plenty of time on the play clock with 10. Takes the snap, completes left side on the screen. Dawson Pugh with the numbers wrapped down at the line. Got nowhere after making the grab, turned upfield, and D'Angelo Hutchinson fouled him the whole way. No gain on the reception from Pugh, rather a loss of 1 back to the 25. Brings up 3rd down and 11.
Pugh has to know what he's doing before he gets the football there. Stopped and looked for a second. Screen against this Louisville defense in this part of the field has to be catch and go. He books it outside. He's got room to run.
7:35 opening quarter, already a 5th 3rd down for a long BC opening series. 3rd and 11 on the 25. 2 receivers to the right of James, 1 to the left, Dawson Pugh. Jordan McDonald at his hip at tailback. James takes a shotgun snap, looks left, has time, tucks it and runs up the middle, can't get free, and he's taken down well shy. James had nowhere to go with the football. He's already run it twice on the drive, and a 3rd carry comes up well short of the sticks. It's a gain of 5 for James that brings out a first field goal attempt of the night. 6:58 opening quarter.
Lucky to avoid a target in their clear launch. You got to snap it before 1 on the play clock. You run it that far down, almost get to delay a game. More importantly, let the defensive ends tee off. They can time that snap easily.
Luca Lombardo, redshirt junior out of Westport, Connecticut, up from 37 yards. He made all 3 of his attempts last week. Snap, hold, kick on the way. Lombardo remains perfect on the season. It is good. This from 37. Lombardo's made from as far as 52 this year. 3-0 Boston College, 6:36 in the opening quarter. Lombardo, one of 11 in the FBS that is still perfect on the season. He's 11 for 11 to begin the year.
8.5-minute drive there. Lombardo puts the points on the boards, but you need to find a way to end in a kick that's an extra point, not a field goal there if you're Boston College. You can't have that long march and not get 7 because you don't know how many opportunities there are going to be in this game. Louisville can strike in a hurry, so now the defense's turn to answer, but the offense, 3 is good, 7 is much better.
Win, lose, or draw, Lombardo making a case for one of the best kickers in the nation, one of the most improved players on this Boston College roster. 6:36 opening quarter. We've reached our first media timeout here in L&N Stadium. 3-0 Boston College after a lengthy drive brings the Eagles with just 3 points, as it did last week against UConn. 15 plays to start the game, more than half the quarter consumed by Boston College a week ago, only resulted in 3. And Chris, almost an identical beginning to the game here against Louisville.
Yeah, identical as you mentioned there. Offense was clicking. The penalties really what killed them, and then an inability to convert once you got close to the red zone. You can't have those false start and pre-snap penalties if you're BC, as on that drive they go 15 plays and 55 yards. But the 3 penalty flags really what stalled out that drive at times.
Well, James had a career-high 17 carries last week, Chris. There he's got 3 on the drive. Only at 26 yards a week ago against UConn, his first start of the season, and wasn't as productive here, was more productive here, yet that last carry seemed to be the backbreaker of what was otherwise a solid opening start.
Yeah, it was good, productive drive for James. Should mention those stats last year really weighed down by the 7 sacks, which counted against you in college. He had to take off there. Didn't have a ton of time to make the decision. James, 27 yards through the air on the ground so far. He's been productive as well with 22. See if he can settle into this game, because it's really what takes the pressure off an offensive line that's struggling in pass protection.
7 sacks allowed a week ago, a season high for Boston College. Bill O'Brien said that, yes, sacks concern him, but it's not all on an offensive line that's had some jumbling amid benchings, injuries, and the like. Bill O'Brien said that the running backs missed assignments. Grayson James held the ball too long at times. The routes weren't as crisp as they could be. And thus, you see a line that's got a redshirt freshman center making his first couple of starts. Jude Bowery, that's been on and off the injured list a couple times. Without starting left guard Eric Doherty, Tommy Matheson takes his spot for the second consecutive game. And it's a line that will have to hold up if James is going to get enough time to make something happen.
It certainly will. That line has to be better. James really only able to sit in the pocket for a second or two. We saw a couple snaps where they held up, but this pass rush wants to get after James, and if it continues, expect them to bring more and more pressure.
6:36 opening quarter, 3-0 Boston College. Eagles preparing to boot it away to the Cardinals for the first time here on this Saturday night. Andy Quinn into his trot. Colin Lacey, one of the most dangerous returners in the nation, waits at the goal line and watches the football bounce in the end zone for a touchback. Cardinals will come out to the 25-yard line, first down and 10. Opening series for Miller Moss and company. Redshirt senior out of Los Angeles, California, grew up minutes from his former school, USC, as a native of Pacific Palisades, California. Being the starter for the Trojans was a dream come true, but he chose to come to Louisville after being usurped by Jaden Mayava for the starting job. Moss took his first snaps in a new zip code this year and is among the top ranks in the ACC in both yards and touchdowns. Breaks the huddle in the shotgun, first and 10 on his own 25. Handoff going left, Isaac Brown, the star sophomore, bursts down the sideline, left numbers to the 50, cuts it back to the middle. Brown, he may be loose, one man to beat, inside the 10, he's taken down at the 2. Isaac Brown, one of the superstars in the ACC and the country, wasting no time, and he's got Louisville right on the doorstep of the first points. Went right down the sideline. Brown off to the races, cutting it back against the grain for a big gainer, and Louisville set up at the 2-yard line.
Omar Thornton's been so good all season. He can't lose outside leverage there. That's what lets the big play happen. But it's Isaiah Farris with the touchdown-saving tackle. Love the effort out of the redshirt junior to cover up his mistake.
73-yard run for Isaac Brown. Back out behind Moss into the eye. First and goal from the 2. Gets the handoff. Brown plunging ahead, and BC brought him up short. Indeed, the near side judge will mark him down after a gain of a yard. Bring up second down and goal from the 1. 5.5 to go in the opening quarter. BC consumed more than half of the opening frame on its opening drive. 3-0 BC lead. Isaac Brown ripped a 73-yard run to start the game, and just like that, the Cardinals about a half-yard away from taking the first lead of the night. They break the huddle, going right to left, clad in all black. Moss under center, out of the eye as he was last snap. Brown the tailback. It's a tush push right up the gut. Moss, does he have it? Plunging forward still. Now the whistle comes in. Both judges racing to the pile. No signal yet. And he's in. Touchdown Cardinals. Louisville runs wild on the opening series. A 73-yard scamper from Isaac Brown sets up a tush-push touchdown for Miller Moss. 6-3 Louisville, 4:49 opening quarter.
What happened in 8 minutes and 24 seconds for BC, going 55 yards, took Louisville one play to beat out. That's what's going to be the story of this game. Eagles going to have to earn every point, and the defense cannot be gifting Louisville those long, explosive plays to set up touchdowns.
Cooper Ranvier, redshirt freshman from Lexington, Kentucky, on to make it a 7-3 advantage for the Cards. Shai Kochov to snap it. Carter Schwartz, the punter, will hold. Snap, hold, kick. All good for the Cards. And just like that, Louisville's up 7-3, 4:49 opening quarter. It's a second consecutive week with a rushing touchdown on the opening drive for Miller Moss. Cardinals up big off a 73-yard run from their star sophomore Isaac Brown. We'll send it back to the studio in Newton for 2.5 minutes and be back with BC's response on WZBC Sports. Thank you, Will. Boston College trailing Louisville 7-3, 4:49 opening quarter here at L&N Stadium. A drive for Louisville, an opening series for the Cards, in which it looks like they haven't skipped a beat after the win over number 2 Miami last Friday, and in which Louisville ran all over Boston College for 7.
Certainly did. It's one play, we talked about it a little bit there, but Omar Thornton, who's been the bright spot of this Boston College defense, the sophomore from American Heritage in Florida, gets beat on that outside leverage, the stiff arm there. You just got to play it safe. You don't have to make the tackle by yourself. You just have to tie up the running back. Instead of a small gain, it turns into a 73-yard gashing, and you find yourself down by 4.
Eagles due to receive the football a second time. Nick Keller boots it away right to left, and TJ Green parks himself at the goal line. Ball flies over his head and bounces in the end zone for a touchback. Eagles beginning drive number 2, 4:49 opening quarter. They trail Louisville 7-3. Eagles kept the ball for a little bit, a lot. Nearly half of that opening quarter on a drive that spanned 15 plays with only 55 yards and 8:24. Louisville just took 1:47 to score, and now immediate timeout on the field as the Eagles will have to wait a little bit before drive number 2 of this game.
Yeah, this is what happens when one drive takes over half the quarter, the next drive takes 3 plays. You got to fit these immediate timeouts in somewhere, and unfortunately, quick succession here.
Eagles have taken a bit on their scoring drives across the last couple of games. They've averaged 14.3 plays per scoring drive over the losses to UConn and Clemson in each of the last 2 home games. Yet they've gone up tempo within those drives, which creates a bit of an odd situation for offensive play caller Will Lawling.
Certainly does. Will Lawling doesn't have a easy job by any measure here. He's had to deal with a lot of moving pieces, but he's just got to find a way to dial it in. He's been on the hot seat for a reason amongst the BC faithful. At least if you ask them, we'll see if it changes. But it's a tough job, but that's what the job is. You have to find a way to adapt. Louisville presents a lot of challenges. Your team's maybe not up to the talent level you need to be. You have guys out there you don't want to, but it's up to the coaches to find a way to handle that and make sure all 11 that you do put on the field are ready to play.
You mentioned that Lawling and this BC coaching staff as a whole has dealt with an ever-changing cast of characters. A couple of Eagles have been ruled out for the season this week, among them starting slot wide receiver Jaden Skeet, the junior from Hyde Park, and that's a loss in particular, along with Bam Crouch on the defensive side, the middle linebacker ruled out for the season on Tuesday by Bill O'Brien. Those are a couple of losses that leave gaping holes in key positions.
They certainly do. It's the example of where injuries like that force guys you probably didn't expect to play significant snaps into it. You got Pugh coming in, the true freshman, for Skeet, and then on defense, you lose Bam Crouch, your best linebacker, and then it really gets thin behind him. Zachary Thomas has to step up in his sophomore season. You've got Hula Jr. and Steele, 2 other reserve players having to play an increased role. It just makes it a lot more difficult when you lose that one guy you built the defense around. And all of a sudden, you're trying to recreate him in the aggregate, and you learn it's not as easy as to make it look in Moneyball.
No opportunities to get on base here, though, Chris, although I do love the reference to an all-time sports classic. Game 2 of the World Series happening tonight or tomorrow?
Believe tonight.
We'll keep eyes on that. Here on the football field at L&N Stadium, 4:49 first quarter, 7-3 Louisville lead. Eagles preparing for drive number 2, first down and 10 from their own 25. Last series, the Eagles kept it for 15 plays, only went 55 yards and 8:24. Took nearly more than half the quarter to get 3 points. 37-yard make from Luca Lombardo, who is still 11 for 11 on the season. Grayson James breaks the huddle in the shotgun, a receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Now a motion man left to right, Ty Lockwood. Jordan McDonald at his hip. Takes the snap, handoff up the middle. McDonald is swarmed. TJ Capers read it the whole way, and the redshirt sophomore out of Miami dunks his fellow Floridian behind the line. McDonald had nowhere to go as he looked up and saw Capers planted him behind. Loss of a yard brings it back to the 24 for 2nd and 11.
Capers timed it up perfectly. Almost took the handoff from James himself. Met the back at the exact time of the handoff. Nowhere he could have gone.
Eagles back to the line. 4:20 to go, opening frame. James in the gun on 2nd and 11. Takes the snap, looking left, he fires complete left numbers. Jeremiah Franklin turns upfield. First down at the 35 as he falls ahead to the 36. Jeremiah Franklin's second catch of the game, also his second first down. Gain of 12 has the Eagles on the move, moving the sticks for the first time here on drive number 2. Already back to the line, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left of James in the gun. Direct snap, and he gets off, moving left side, sliding down ahead of the marker at the 46. James falls at the 45 for a gain of 9. It was a career-high 17 carries for Grayson James a week ago. He's already got 5 in this game to lead the Eagles with 22 yards, 3:34 opening quarter. He's in the shotgun, 2nd and 1 at the 45. Motion left to right from Harris. Takes the snap. McDonald gets the handoff. Sweeping left side. First down. Left numbers of the 50. He falls into Louisville territory at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 7 for McDonald. His 6th carry of the game yields another first down for the Eagles, who are on the march in Louisville territory for the second time in as many drives.
McDonald's vision's really impressed tonight. Found those holes effectively in the first 2 drives so far. This defense for Louisville going to begin to wear down. Eagles offense has been on for the bulk of the first quarter.
2:56 first quarter. This is already only the third drive of the game for both teams. James in the pistol, takes the snap, pitches left. Alex Broom gets it going up the left sideline, and he is wrapped down out of bounds across the 45 to the 43-yard line. Blake Ruffin, the redshirt senior from Louisville, followed him the whole way as Broom was ripped to the ground on his opening carry of the game. It's a 6-yard scamper for the redshirt junior. Brings up 2nd and 4 from the 43. James in the gun, takes the snap. Play action pass, he has time, lets it fly. Kalen Chudzinski open left numbers, caught inside the 20. He scampers just shy of the 15. Biggest gain of the night for Boston College. James was well protected, dished a beauty to a wide open Chudzinski, and they're already on the move inside the red zone, 1st and 10 at the 19. BC set once again, 2 minutes remain in the opening quarter. Eagles trail by 4. Pistol snap coming to James. Handoff up the middle. Alex Broom dancing by the line left hash, and he is planted after a minimal gain as Tavon Holloway gets there, the linebacker. Broom getting some decent run in this game. He missed all of last season, leg injury in the spring. Showed flashes of brilliance before his injury in 2023. Lost in the shuffle with all the running backs that have come in. Jordan McDonald takes his spot, 2nd down and 8 from the 17. James in the gun, 2 receivers right, 1 left, Dawson Pugh. James approaches his line, changing the play, time on the play clock. Still pointing out the mic, now gotta go. He takes the snap, looks left, now over the middle, complete. Pugh, left hash of the 10, bottled up shy of the marker, still being pile-driven backward by Blake Ruffin before TJ Capers comes in to finish the job.
Good job finding the football there, making the catch. A little more experience, you can learn, run that a yard deeper behind the sticks, find a way to get the first down.
7-yard catch for the freshman from Hudson, Ohio, Dawson Pugh. Meanwhile, it's a 3rd down and 1 for Boston College on the Louisville 10. 41 seconds in the opening quarter. James in the gun, receivers to either side, tight ends on either side of the line. Zeke Moore moves left to right. Takes the snap, handoff, McDonald up the middle. He's got the first down, falling shy of the 5. He's still on his feet before he's eventually spun down by a host of Louisville defenders. McDonald's been the bell cow. He continues to stay strong. That's carry number 7. 3 of them have gone for first downs. Time ticks off the clock in the first quarter. 7-3 Louisville lead. Eagles content to run out the opening frame. They'll have 1st and goal from the 6 when the second quarter picks up here at L&N Stadium. Quick strike for Louisville, long and methodical responses for Boston College. Eagles trying to take the lead on a couple of snaps. Back to the studio where Will Kogan and Grady Daniels have you covered. We'll see you for the second here at L&N Stadium.